Namaste, Jai Hind. Welcome to Lumos Talkies. I'm going to be continuing my series uh, on addressing coming of age, slice of life films. Just like last time, I discussed Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na, which, according to me, gives the same message as Three Idiots does. But the mother of all these films, which give out the message in the essence in one line of these films and the message that they give out to the society are that when you do what you love, when you make your passion your profession, uh, work will feel like play. So um, that's why it's called a play, I feel, because it doesn't feel like work when we do theater. So, Dead Poet Society is the film I'm going to be talking about today. Uh, I'm going to be try and keep it crisp. It's one of those films which, if you watch it carefully and you watch it again and again, or even if you watch it just uh, very passe sort of a sense, it will definitely leave an impact on you. It will provoke you to think. It will, and if you really understand the gist of it and the subtext of every scene and every sequence of the film, I believe that this is one film that can be life changing for anyone. Um, one of the greatest actors, one of the most complete actors that we've ever seen, Robin Williams, is playing a professor of literature and poetry. It's about a boarding school for boys, and in the US, and how this one professor comes into the high school as a replacement for the older teacher, and he challenges the very regimental and very institutionalized nature of academics and education in that school. And all the dialogues in this film are iconic, actually. Um, these boys are just being prepared for this mundane sort of a life, very regimented, very institutionalized. The future has been their future has been pre-decided for them. Just like how you see in the opening sequence of Three Idiots when he says that "Ladka paida hua to engineer banega," and their fate and his fate was sealed. Similar thing here, but then again, this came out way before in the late 80s, and I firmly believe anyone who is a lover of storytelling or cinema or poetry or literature should definitely watch this film. So here's coming out to the storyline. So basically, just this teacher comes in as a breath of fresh air on this campus, which is just extremely regimented, extremely strict, and the course of action taken and the way the administration in the school addresses education and their approach towards pedagogy is very strict and compartmentalized and theoretical. And poetry and literature have just been thrown in there for the heck of it, just for the grades. And there's a meter to everything. There's calculation and math to everything. And he says, no, I respect medicine, science, engineering. All these are noble pursuits, are very important to sustain life. But poetry, literature is what we live for. Carpe Diem, seize the day, my friend. These are all iconic lines from the movie. Um, I personally keep revisiting this film every now and then, just to keep the artist within alive, to keep the innovation alive, to try and get different perspectives towards life, and via which you get a different perspective towards your own craft. And how, the tale as it, if you look at it, it's a Dead Poet Society, basically, how the alma mater rebels within that institution, and the professor who's come in, Robin Williams, he has been an alumni of the same school, and he tells the students who are on the brink of puberty, especially that particular batch, which becomes his favorite and vice versa, that they should definitely explore and try and understand poetry with a very unorthodox lens, and how they form a group and they sneak out of their campus, and it's in the wilderness, so they go sneak out every night into a cave, and they write their own poetry, recite it, and sort of rebel, and which we all have done somewhere or the other in our teens. And there's so much to it. There are different characters. There's this one boy who's a late entry, who's just come in the mid of the semester, and he's roommates with Neil. And Neil's one character. Very rarely do you come across one character in a movie, uh, and it just comes as a shocker. And I wouldn't like to give out a spoiler, because I really want the people who are watching this video to watch this movie. Um, because Neil is one character who does something at the climax, and he wants to pursue acting. Now he is surrounded by these rich kids on this campus who come from privileged backgrounds, but he is in particular comes from a really middle class parentage, and so his father is really really like adamant that he has to pursue medicine as his career, but he wants to become an actor, and he actually performs a Midsummer Night's Dream and plays Puck. It's a Shakespearean comedy, but how the pressure of the society, and the entire pressure from the parents, he collapses beneath it, and you know uh, and then you have to watch the film. It's just a film, trust me, that will change you forever, and generate a lot more empathy. And I feel it's important for every generation who are parents already, who are going to be parents, who aspire to be parents, or who already have made mistakes as parents, as to trying to pressurize their children to live their dream, to achieve what they could not achieve themselves, and introspect that what are we actually doing to the coming generations. And so yeah, that's what I love about Dead Poet Society. The performances are impeccable. You know, you won't even mind the duration of it. The film is like a poetry on celluloid. It will make you laugh. It will make you howl. It will make you cry. It will make you yawp. Google that. And at the end of the by the towards the end credits, even you will feel like standing up and standing up on some piece of furniture around you, the closest to you, and yawp and yell a barbaric yawp and yell, "Oh, Captain, my Captain!" So, for those who have watched and understood Deadwood Society, pun intended, you will understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, so questions next. But yes, Deadwood Society is one film that comes highly recommended.
Question one: how far should personal freedom go when it begins to clash with expectations from family and society?
That's a deep one. Uh, Again, I can speak only through the filters of my personal morality. Uh, as long as it does not uh, cross the line of offending anyone within the society, and does not trespass the law of the land.
Question two: did Mr. Keating truly empower his students or unintentionally push them towards decisions where they weren't ready to handle?
See, being a fan of the film, I'm biased, so I would go with the former. He definitely empowered them and provoked them, and to think for themselves, ideate, and actually introspect as to what they want to do with this one life, one human life that they've gotten. So otherwise, they would just end up living like puppets, and the society and the people in hierarchy would be their puppeteers. So I would like to presume, but then again, if you look at the last shot of the film very carefully, he does not succeed with all the students. Some would always go with the run of the mill thing, the herd mentality. Only a count few who would want to explore themselves were affected by Mr. Keating. So it's not that he brainwashed anyone into anything. He was just doing his job, but it's just that his approach towards his job was very passionate and unconventional, because usually teachers approach their job like a 9 to 5 ordeal, which is very theoretical and technical, and it's just an end to their means for them. But very rarely do you come across teachers, and you can go back and revisit, as far as your memory serves you, your school days or your college days. How many teachers do you really remember in a positive light? I guess count few, because they will be the ones who are really passionate about teaching. Yeah.
Question 3. Is conformity always limiting, or can it sometimes provide necessary structure for growth?
Discipline, courage, punctuality are virtues. Conformity in what sense? Conformity in just blindly following something and not getting that opportunity to decide for yourself as to what should be your path in life is harmful. But things like being, as I said, virtues, not see, being a conformist can become a very big vice for you if you're blindly faithful towards something. But if you question and are inquisitive about life and as to why should I do this, and you ask for reasoning behind it, logically or otherwise, and then you conform to a certain norm, I guess that's a much more healthier way of approaching conformity or conforming to anything.
Last question. Why does choosing to be authentic sometimes come with such a heavy consequences?
That's because as human beings, we're always frightened of anything that we've not seen, seen or heard of, or witnessed, or tried or explored before. So, and it just that's why studying history is extremely important for us as mankind, because those who don't learn from history are condemned to repeat it, whether it's positive or negative. Uh, so it's better to learn from history and not repeat the same mistakes as a mankind. Uh, and yeah, uh, that would be my answer. But again, it is up to you. There is a reason why the law of the land says that you're an adult by the time you turn 18, right? So I guess after once you're 18, the society expects you to make decisions for yourself. So why doesn't it allow you to? So that's something that you have to ask. We all have to ask ourselves. And I guess we as human beings have the capacity. There's a reason that we are at the top of the food chain, or so we'd like to believe, um, that we can constantly evolve, learn, adapt, and change ourselves for the better. Yeah, that's
Cut.
about it. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to Lumos Talkies. Keep watching till we meet again. Jai Hind.